This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Richard, how are you doing, bud?
Doing well.
The transfer portal has a huge impact on today's college football. How would you say that it's affecting recruiting?
Well, what you're seeing is that you're not seeing as many guys that are kind of borderline prospects, being signed and developed by, schools nowadays. That's been one of the biggest outcries from high school coaches that the portal has really hurt high school recruiting from the standpoint that guys that in the past that schools used to sign and develop, that's not necessarily happening like it used to, and some of those guys are having to go to mid-major programs or maybe even Division II programs. So some other classifications do benefit from that, but obviously the kids that had desires to maybe play at the highest level, their opportunities are quite a bit less than what they were in the past.
I know a lot of people, fans especially, they truly believe that when Arkansas is struggling on the football field, not winning many games, that it just decimates recruiting. Is that true?
Well, I mean, obviously you much rather win, but at the same time, I don't think it necessarily does that. What it could do is if some kids are discouraged and at the product on the field and think that maybe the future doesn't look as bright as they anticipated, they may decommit and look around at other opportunities. But for the most part, kids stick with their commitment. Obviously there's some that don't, but overall, most kids do stick with the original school that they committed to.
11 a.m. this week, you're on the road. 11 a.m. next week, you're back at home for Mississippi State. I know that they always say that's a big deterrent for getting visitors to the campus, Richard. I think people probably in the recruiting office were pretty disappointed to see an 11 a.m. start for Mississippi State.
Yeah, no doubt. 2:30 and beyond is usually ideal. Each time frame that you see, say 2:30 to 6 or so. Those are the ones that allow the out-of-state kids to get to campus. The 11 a.m. Usually the only way an out-of-state kid will make the trip is if they're pretty close to campus on the border of Arkansas, or they have an open date. So it's not ideal, but that's part of the process that you have going through the SEC schedule.
Yeah, and this could be a challenge this week. Obviously you're just trying to fight your way out of this long losing streak, and not anyone really gives you much hope this week. Not just the Vegas line, but I haven't talked to a single person that thinks you're going to go win, and and the odds are stacked against you. But me and Ty were talking in the last segment. It really kind of would be the most Arkansas thing ever to pull something like this off, when it would be the miracle of all miracles.
No, obviously that would be one of the biggest wins in quite some time, because obviously Arkansas hasn't beaten Alabama for so many years. So that'd be a good shot in the arm. And obviously, kind of change the narrative of where we are right now with the program, as far as the losing streak, and maybe get some momentum going towards the end of the season, and maybe a few more W's.
Richard Davenport with us on the McLarty-Daniel hotline. Have you been, because I had someone mention this to me at dinner, and I'll be honest, I have not followed much of the baseball recruiting storylines. Have you been following much? And because someone was asking me about an international player from China or Japan, somewhere in Asia that Dave Van Horn was in on. Do you know anything about that, Richard? Because I've had two people ask me about it, and I'll be honest, I hadn't followed much of the baseball recruiting at this point.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't either. Now I've heard of it, but I really don't have much information on it.
Yeah, I've told this would be like a program-changing kind of player. So I've had a couple people in there. I'm going to have to dig into that story a little more and catch up with it. So, hey, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Last few weeks of high school football, some big matchups this week. Heading in weeks 7, 8, 9, 10, the grind of conference play, conference alignments, and seeding for the playoffs starting to take shape. What are some of the highlights you've seen? Some of the players that have stood out to you so far as we're over the hump, kind of in regular season for high school football in Arkansas?
You know, it's been interesting watching, especially the Arkansas commitments and maybe some prospects going through the season. And one thing that I've noticed this year, it maybe even more so for whatever reason, that there's so many lopsided games, and some of the stats that you see for the commitments aren't necessarily what you normally see in past years because of the lopsided games and kids only playing for about a quarter or maybe even a half of a game max. And I noticed that with C.J. Brown last week. He had like 2 catches for 29 yards because of the 84-0 win by Bentonville. And Braylon Russell, he had 4 catches for 89 yards and a touchdown. I guess he didn't even have a carry last week in their game. That was a 63-7 victory. So it's been a kind of a crazy season for a lot of the prospects that Arkansas is recruiting and the commitments because of the lopsided victories.
Yeah, big game this week for the 7A West as Bentonville and Fayetteville get together. That's going to be a game that goes a long ways into deciding the top end of that conference.
Yeah, no doubt. Drake Lindsey, man, the guy is just he just puts up crazy numbers just about every game, and then you have C.J. Brown, who we were just talking about for Bentonville. I think if you look at the schedule, I mean, for this week, that's probably got to be the top game and the most interest from most people that cover high school football.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.